Fran's already introduced me. I'm Angela Taylor. I'm the employability lead for the City Council, and I head up the employability and skills team, which we've branded as ABZ Works. So to the world out there, we're ABZ Works, and behind the scenes, employability and skills, and we do exactly what it says on the tin. Our service is part of the City Growth Service, which in old speak is economic development, and clearly we fit right in there. We're all about supporting the people of Aberdeen and the businesses of Aberdeen to keep a healthy economy, and obviously skills and business are, they're interlinked like that. They go absolutely hand in hand. Obviously today we're here to speak about the dynamic purchasing system, and Keely has laid that out so clearly, and actually laid out some of the changes that we're seeing through the employability landscape as well. So I'll not dwell too much on that, but I'll pick up on bits as we go. Technical hitch number 2. We're not shifting across slides, apologies. There we go. So I suppose the key bit, or one of the key bits to this, is inclusive economic growth. It's at the heart of everything that we do as a local authority, and particularly as the City Growth Service. For us, my team, that drives down a little bit more. So the needs of the individual is absolutely at the heart of our work. It's a very much person-centred, holistic approach that we take to supporting our people to progress into a destination which is the right one for them. We have a local employability partnership, as every Scottish local authority does, which brings in a number of external partners from the public, private and third sectors. In Aberdeen, we have agreed that as part of our No One Left Behind delivery plan, and for those of you who don't know, No One Left Behind is the main employability funding stream from the Scottish Government. As part of that plan, we'll create a procurement framework, and that framework will enable us to develop a rapid, responsive and flexible approach to current employability needs and the emerging needs that we're seeing. Now, we're seeing emerging needs because of economic changes. Aberdeen's a wee bit different. We've got the oil and gas situation, which knocks the economy up and down depending on what the market's doing at the time. Obviously, we have got the cost of living crisis, which is really biting people now, and we anticipate challenges to business through that on an increasing basis as we go. And then we've got, I guess, what we'd call the general, so the normal picture, which is as normal as it fluctuates. So, for example, large number of Ukrainians have landed in the city as a result of the war, which is going on back home for them. So constantly changing needs, rapidly emerging needs, and therefore we need a process by which we can rapidly and flexibly respond to those needs as they come. The framework is part of a broader picture which aspires to provide a mixed market of activities to provide a holistic, person-centred approach to individuals in need of support. So it's public sector, it's third sector, and it's private sector. And we're already working with organisations across those 3 sectors, but this framework will hopefully enable us to do that broader and better, and actually get right down to the roots of what our people need, more than what organisations may think they need. Keely's touched on an awful lot of what's on this slide here, so I'm not going to rehearse it bit by bit and line by line, and you'll have these slides later on anyway, so you can see what's here. But dynamic approach, efficient service, absolutely key to what we're doing. We want a straightforward employability landscape. At the current time, it's a bit higgledy-piggledy, and we really want just to make it smoother and easier for everybody, for ourselves as buyers, for you as providers, and crucially for the people who are receiving that support. We want to be able to respond incredibly quickly by providing innovative solutions. We are very, very open to pilot projects which actually could see us do something differently or with a different group with better results and with the customer voice heard throughout it. The ultimate drive for us is the best opportunity for our employability programme participants. It's a place-based approach, and that's been taken through the No One Left Behind programme. It's place-based, but also by the City Council. Our view is very much that local employability services should be delivered dependent on local need. So that's where we're going. The open element of the framework, which again Keely has mentioned, is so important, because what we want to do is not only work with the established employability market, but also to get down to the true grassroots community level as well, to give that really varied, broad range of support for people. And that's why the framework being open is ideal. It lets new people join, it lets us try new things, and it keeps things moving, and that, again, flexible and responsive process in place. So what we're looking for when we use this dynamic purchasing system, it is that person-centred approach. It's the locality, community level delivery, which is crucial to the work that we do, delivered in person, really important. We found that online's okay for some people. It's not great, particularly for those who are furthest removed from the labour market, who really need that one-to-one, person-to-person support where you're actually seeing the colour of somebody's eyes. Quick turnaround is crucial, and that again goes back to those emerging needs, or if, heaven forbid, we have a big redundancy situation, we need to be able to react like that. And again, going back to the individual part, it's been able to address the individual barriers to employment that a person will have, albeit we may have many people with an individual need. We may also have single people with a very specific need, and we need to be able to support them to address that. Equality is a big thing for us, so the support should be fair and impartial, and everything should offer progression opportunities. Now, that may be progression into employment, it may be progression from stage 1 to stage 2 of the employability pipeline. Again, it's down to what the individual needs and what their aspirations are. It should also consider and reflect the employment opportunities and needs of the area. So it's all very well training somebody up to be a forklift driver, but if there's no forklift jobs, then we're on a hide into nothing with that. But this slide is really just more of a graphic of the last slide. It's what we're looking at, it's how we want it to be. It's really what a good employability service should look like, and this is what we're looking for from you guys to bring to us. We have, as every other local authority has through the local employability partnerships, identified priority groups. These will vary between different local authority areas. Ours are here, they're based on the data that we have looked at through the local employability partnership, and it shows the people who really need the employability support in Aberdeen. I don't think there will be any surprises for you here, but what you will see immediately is it's a very varied group, but equally there will be crossover between these lines. So as a very simple example, we may have residents of Aberdeen's priority areas who are aged over 50, female, with long-term health issues, and have a conviction. So that's about half of them already. You could be bidding to support everybody in these priority groups. You could be bidding to support one specific group, and that's entirely up to yourselves. The approach that we're taking has got a number of benefits. They're not just benefits to the local authority as the lead accountable body for this work. It's also to the individuals, to business, to the economy. And when I say business, I should stress I'm not just talking private sector there. It's all organisations across third and public sectors as well. The societal benefits are one of the key pieces here. It's the better mental and physical health. We know through research, we know from what we've seen ourselves to date, we know from the NHS and through a range of other sources that being involved in employability activity, being in work, has huge benefits. There are savings for the public purse, there are improved mental and physical health outcomes. If you're engaged in some positive activity, you're less likely to offend or to re-offend. If you're in work, and I should have said at the start, but I'll say it now, our ultimate aim is to get people into fair work, which is fairly paid. We accept that, 0 hours contracts may be the best option for some people, but where we can, we want people into fair work, fair pay, real living wage where at all possible, thereby reducing poverty, moving people up the way in their life, up the career ladder, and in doing so, we're then reducing that pressure on the public purse. So that's the court cases, the NHS, the benefits and welfare costs. But that public purse is not the top line for us. I've already said we really want the community and grassroots level organisations to get involved in this process, because actually if we take that place-based approach and the real community level stuff, it's these small organisations that really know the people in their local areas. We don't want to restrict people to receiving support in their areas, but quite often the grassroots route is the best road in to then bring them along and progress along that employability pipeline. The graphic at the top of this screen is headed up the job seeking journey. That is actually the employability pipeline. It's a 5-stage pipeline. We are seeing increasingly that it's becoming a 6-stage pipeline with stage 0 or stage pre-1. So that's people who are really very far removed from the market and the labour market and need a good bit of hand-holding and support to get them through. The way we have designed the lots, which we've done in partnership with the local employability partnership, but also with some local training providers, so we've got that joint working piece, the co-design. Through that, we've tried to design lots which will suit Aberdeen. So lots 1 to 5 are based on this employability pipeline, which you see in front of you here. It's designed to support the effective delivery of employability services while also taking in that personal individual needs. And lots 6 to 9, which we'll come to in due course, are more focused on very specific types of activity. Bear in mind, Keely said you can bid for more than one lot. You're not restricted to just one lot. So lot 1 is the pre-stage 1 and stage 1. And as you can see here, it's that really early bit. It's the initial engagement with people. It's assessing their needs and barriers. Lot 1 and stage 1 on the pipeline is for people who are not yet job ready. You may find that you start engaging with people at stage 1 and they absolutely flourish, they spread their wings and they're away. They're hitting stage 5 quite quickly. For others, it takes a long, long time to get up that pipeline. So this identifying and assessing of needs, developing action plans, supporting mental health, using outreach activities, really supporting them to be comfortable in themselves, to be able to engage and to move on to the next stage in the pipeline. So again, this is for those who are not quite job ready, but they're a wee bit further on. And you'll see from this list here, it's really, to a great degree, the exploration stage. What do I want to do? How do I want to get there? How do I get over some of these barriers? Can I afford to work? I'm a bit sugly myself. I'm not very confident. I can't work a computer. All of that comes into stage 2. And it's just that, I guess, till the cuddle stage is just getting the people set up, ready to go to move in to stage 3. And you'll immediately see there's a clear difference from stages 1 and 2 to stage 3 here. This is where we're really focusing on training needs, next steps, work experience, really thinking about your career. How could you get on? How can you build your CV? Could you, for example, go into volunteering? All of these things sit within stage 3. It's employability skills, CV, job application, job seeking, all of that sits in here, and it merges into stage 4 and lot 4, which, as you'll see again, is that sector specific piece. But also on the personal side, it's understanding your working rights. It's how do you read your pay slip? Might you want to set up on your own? There are loads of opportunities for people to set up their own wee business. It doesn't have to be Facebook Mark II. Let's say it could be an earning business. It could be childminding, could be gardening. There's lots and lots of different things that people could be doing. Job searching and matching. You'll know your clients. You'll know the type of work they could go into. So it's helping them to identify potential jobs and potentially having conversations with employers as they go, which takes them nicely into stage 5 of the pipeline, which is, we call it the golden hour. That's where they're in work or very nearly in work, and it's providing that in-work support and aftercare to people to ensure that they sustain their employment. That may involve employment mentoring once they're in work. It may involve employee engagement. So keeping talking to the bosses to ensure that the individual is supported. And if they hit a bump in the road, as people do, that you can get them over that bump and manage any issues that arise from the bump with the employer to help sustain the employment. So that's the pipeline stages. Moving into the next lots, and these are the ones that we said are the more individually focused ones. Personal development, and you'll see links back to the other pipeline stages here. Digital skills, ESOL, that's English for speakers of other languages, which is an increasing need. I was going to say in Aberdeen, but it's right throughout the country, the whole of the UK just now, because of the war back in Ukraine and the people coming here. There's independent travel. So we have found, as every other local authority has found, some people are really quite frightened of getting on a bus or coming out of their own community. There's money matters. It's that reading your payslip piece. It's managing your debts. Being able to live within your means while hopefully expanding your means through employment. Lot 7, we're focusing on health, disability and recovery. I've said already that health can be improved by work and employability activity, and if people are not involved in those activities, their health can decline. We're realistic here. We know not everybody's going to be well enough to engage or have the ability to engage, but for those who can, we should have something in place for them. Community and grassroots, I don't think I can say any more on that than I already have. And lot 9 is the innovation miscellaneous lot. So if there's something that you have got that you think would work well, it isn't covered in the other lots, stick it in for lot 9. We are very, very keen to hear about new things, different stuff we could do, how we could do new things differently, how we could support other people, or just, you know, that broad innovative piece is what we are really, really keen to hear about. And then finally, this is just my final slide to say thank you very much for listening. Our contact details are at the bottom, but I anticipate you would use the PCS system to raise any questions that are not brought here. That's me. Thank you.
Perfect, Angela.